Good Friday morning, North Texas. Thank you for waking up with us here on Daybreak. I'm Dia Wall.
And I'm Matt Howardson. We'll have much more on Election Day and the funding deal in Congress in just a bit. But first, we have meteorologist Greg Fields and traffic anchor Erica Lopez here to help you get out the door.
All right, guys. Yeah, if you're heading out right now, Friday morning, relatively quiet, no big problems just yet. A little bit of road work I'll tell you about going into the weekend, and that's about it for me.
All right.
We're going to have some wet roads, though, so we know what that,
It could change.
what that does. But rain's going to be very light out there, so nothing strong, nothing severe, no real heavy rain expected across the area here this morning. Just likely going to need those windshield wipers as you get going. So we'll start out with radar here for you this morning. You can see the rain around the Metroplex is going to be very light here as we head out right now. Likely going to stay this way. It may pick up a little bit in coverage, but it should stay relatively light as we go through the morning hours. Not a whole lot going on around the Metroplex. As we get out toward Weatherford, we're looking at some light rains moved in, some spotty light showers pushing into Tarrant and the southern portions of Dallas County as well here this morning. We'll zoom out a little bit more, looking across all of North Texas here. Heavier showers and thunderstorms will be over our far southern counties, getting down into central Texas. That's where we do have that flood watch. We'll talk more about that for you coming up here a little bit later. In the meantime, taking you out to Fort Worth, it's going to be chilly, 57 degrees out there for us this morning, so cool and damp as we head out the door. North and northeast winds at 7. Those upper 50s all across North Texas here for you this morning, with 57 in McKinney, along with Greenville this morning, 58 as we head out to Terrell and Canton here early on. So here's the day planner. Showers likely off and on throughout the day, fairly widespread through early afternoon. We'll only be around 60 early in the day. Look at those temperatures falling back into the upper 50s as we head into the afternoon hours here for today. And notice the rain chances begin to taper off heading out this evening as well. Around 7 p.m., only about a 30% coverage. But sunshine back for the weekend. We'll talk more about that for you coming up here in just a little bit. But now let's check that Friday morning traffic. Over to Erica.
Greg, thank you so much. Quiet start out here at 5:02. I want to start you in Tarrant County, 820 and 287. This is one of those areas where we often have that overnight road work that needs to clear out. So we've got a little bit of flashing lights, a little bit tough to tell out here. So a little bit of road work clearing along this stretch right here, which we see every morning. I'll keep tabs on it and see if it slows things down for us. But right now, volume is light. The rest of Tarrant County looking quiet on the map as we saw lots of green. Headed out across Denton County, no issues at 35E, 35W split. Looks like they're zoomed into some road work that is not happening at the moment, but roadways moving fine there. In Collin County, same thing, 75 and 15th Street. In Plano, nothing to worry about. And as far as what we're seeing across the rest of the map, lots of green out here as you plan out your drive this morning. We are in good shape this Friday. Matt?
All right. Thank you so much, Erica. New overnight, a firefighter was hurt while battling a house fire in South Dallas. It happened around 2 this morning on Birmingham Avenue near Malcolm X Boulevard.
One firefighter suffered heat-related burns and was taken to the hospital. They are expected to be okay, though. Everyone inside made it out safely. Investigators are now working to learn the cause of that fire.
It's a big weekend ahead in Texas. Voters statewide will be heading to the polls for the general election.
And this morning, we want to make sure that you know what you can expect to see on the ballot. Political reporter Natalie Haddad live in Addison for us to preview some of the key issues. Natalie, good morning.
Yeah.
Hey, good morning to you all in studio. Tomorrow's general election is not to be confused with the runoff election happening later this month. Tomorrow's ballot is going to be much longer, and it's going to have local issues that impact your day-to-day life. And the big vote has to do with DART, including here in Addison, voters in Highland Park, University Park. And again, Addison, they're going to decide whether to keep its partnership with the transportation service and lines running through its cities. And there's an immediate impact if those cities decide to leave DART. All train and bus services will stop operating just one day after the votes are canvassed. This could all be happening just weeks before the FIFA World Cup. But also on the ballot is a handful of cities looking for their next mayor, like in Collin County, Frisco, Allen, and Salina. Also some city and school bonds to talk about. We start with Dallas ISD. They are asking voters to approve a $6.2 billion school bond, which is the largest in Texas history. Pilot Point and Ponder ISD also have some school bonds on the ballot, and Fort Worth voters will decide on a near $1 billion city bond funding things like street repairs, parks, and animal shelters. Now, most counties are doing a county-wide voting, which means that unlike what we did in March, you can vote at any polling location within the county you live in, but certainly you will want to check with your election administrator before going out to the polls. I'll send it back to you guys.
Well, Natalie, before you get out of here, this isn't the only election this month.
Yeah, Yeah, we mentioned that in the beginning. The runoff election is also happening this month. That's taking place on May 26th, and that ballot will look a bit familiar to voters. You're going to see names on there that you saw during the March primary, during the May 26th runoff election. You will see names that didn't quite get enough votes to snag the nomination. So Republicans will vote for a U.S. Senate nominee, but that's between incumbent John Cornyn and Ken Paxton. Democrats will choose a Democratic Lieutenant Governor nominee, and that's between State Representative Vicky Goodwin and Marcos Velez, and a couple other names on there as well. So certainly you'll want to go out to the polls tomorrow for the general, and then May 26th for the runoff. I'll send it back to you.
Natalie, thank you for getting us all up to speed, and we have you covered on resources ahead of tomorrow's election. Just head to WFAA.com/vote to get a full breakdown of the races in your area. A developing story out of Central Texas now for the families impacted by last year's deadly floods along the Guadalupe River.
Camp Mystic says it will not reopen this summer. The owners withdrew their application to renew their license after several days of emotional testimony at the state capitol. 25 campers and 2 counselors were killed at last year's flood. During the hearing, the Eastland family, who owns the camp, apologized.
I regret not communicating more with each of you earlier, and I'm so sorry.
Governor Greg Abbott says the Texas Rangers will release the results of its investigation into Camp Mystic as soon as it's complete.
This morning, we're learning new details about the impact of an EF3 tornado on Mineral Wells. Officials say the storm damaged or destroyed more than 130 buildings. The National Weather Service confirmed 9 tornadoes across North Texas just since Saturday. Now people are stepping up to help. That includes Woody's Bar and Grill there in Mineral Wells, which is hosting a fundraiser this weekend to support those who were impacted.
Going to be forgotten about shortly, but the effects are going to last longer than it will be remembered.
Several people were injured in Tuesday's tornado in Mineral Wells. Fortunately, no deaths were reported.
Jurors have a day off today in the sentencing trial of Tanner Horner for the murder of Athena Strand. Yesterday, the defense team called Horner's grandmother to the stand. She chose for her face to be blurred by courtroom cameras. During her testimony, she apologized to Athena's family.
I'm so sorry for Athena's parents, more than you'll ever know. We think about you every day, and I pray for you every day.
Horner's grandmother also tried to give jurors context about his childhood, saying he was bullied and struggled growing up. Today we'll be rebroadcasting yesterday's testimony on WFAA+, then tune back in next week where expert analysis will resume as the jury is expected to begin deliberations potentially on the death penalty. As we mentioned, that is on the line.
Now let's get you to 3 things that you need to know this morning. The longest shutdown of a federal department is over. The president signed a bill to fund most of the Department of Homeland Security. Yesterday, the House passed the same bill the Senate approved more than a month ago, funding TSA, the Coast Guard, FEMA, and Secret Service through the end of September. It did not include money for Immigration and Customs Enforcement or Border Patrol. Republicans adopted a budget resolution to provide $70 billion for those agencies for the next 3 years through a separate process. A Texas judge is deciding whether smoke shops can keep selling hemp products while new state rules are challenged in court. The judgment could also determine whether shops face major new licensing fees. Several companies filed lawsuits claiming the state is overstepping its authority with a ban that went into effect last month. And the African American Museum in Fair Park is reopening today. It underwent some major renovations using a $3 million grant from the Texas Historical Commission and support from Google to digitize its collections. The museum is honoring Sepia magazine, which was founded in Fort Worth back in 1946 with an exhibit spotlighting influential Black icons. Admission is always free. Great to see the Links Incorporated represented there at the African American Museum.
All right, 5:09 this morning on your Friday. We've got a lot to get to, including a looming deadline in Washington over the conflict with Iran. Is it a ceasefire or a legal loophole? At 5:30, the debate on Capitol Hill that's raising big questions on who holds the war powers.
Gas prices surging to new heights. How rising fuel costs could make everyday items even more expensive, if you can believe that.
All right, for that morning rush out there, going to give you that yellow caution light out there. Some scattered, very light rain out there. Cloudy skies otherwise. It's a little bit cool as well with those temperatures in the mid and upper 50s as we head out the door this morning. More widespread rain on the way, probably for that drive home later today, too. We'll talk about it coming up.
And right now, as you make your way out the door, roadways are looking good in Dallas County. At the high 575 and 635, no issues, no delays out here. But I've got some upcoming weekend road work I want to share with you. I'll tell you that next.
It's not a stretch to say that this is a great day because it is May, and the Momentous Institute wants to make sure that this Mental Health Awareness Month is great for you. Coming up, we'll tell you how you can squeeze the day and make the most out of every day and focus on your mental health. That all this morning on Daybreak.